The 2025 running back class is one of the best we've seen in quite some time. This class compares to the likes of the 2017, 2008, or maybe even 2001 class in my opinion, and it has left the NFL in a great place for the position for years to come. We're going to start seeing this impact as soon as this season, as I believe there are 10 rookie running backs we could see rush for 1,000 yards this season, or at least take over the RB1 role on their team. I'll be ranking them in order of what I think their likelihood is to reach the 1,000-yard mark, with number 10 being the least likely and number 1 being the most. Number 10, Taj Brooks, Cincinnati Bengals. The Texas Tech product was selected in the 6th round, 193rd overall by the Bengals in this year's draft, and it was one of my favorite day 3 picks. Last season, the Bengals had signed Colts breakout running back Zach Moss to a 2-year, $8 million contract to be their RB1 in 2024. He was given a pretty clean competition, with Chase Brown not really being seen as competition for him, but inefficiency and injuries saw Moss lose the starting job. Brown had a great end of the season, and in all likelihood he'll be the number 1 guy in 2025, poised for a good year. But keep a close eye on Brooks, as he rushed for 1,505 yards and 17 touchdowns for the Red Raiders in 2025. I still think Brown is somewhat unproven, and although Brooks still has Zach Moss and Samaje Perine to compete with as well, I could 100% see him as the RB1 by year's end. Number 9, Jaydon Blue or Phil Mafah, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys' backfield looks completely different in 2025, with Deuce Vaughn being the only returning member of that position group from the 2024 team. I think Blue and Mafah both have a good chance to win the RB1 job, as it's a pretty wide open race as of right now. I do think that if one of them goes for 1,000 yards, the other likely won't, which is why I have them both occupying one spot on the list. But they both had very good college careers and could be solid NFL running backs in my opinion. Their notable competition is Vaughn, who I mentioned previously, Miles Sanders, and Javonte Williams. None of these guys are considered elite NFL running backs, so I think both Jaydon Blue and Phil Mafah are still well in this competition heading into the preseason. Number 8. Kyle Monangai, Chicago Bears. Monangai had another impressive season for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in 2024, rushing for over 1,200 yards for the second year in a row. The Bears got a steal by selecting him with the 233rd pick in the 7th round of this year's draft, and as a team that struggled mightily in the run game last season, they could really use his services in 2025. DeAndre Swift is still poised to be the RB1 for this team, and he will be Monangai's primary competition. He was pretty inefficient last season though, only averaging 3.8 yards per carry, as he failed to break the 1,000-yard mark despite getting the majority of the snaps. That's not a very high bar to clear, and if Swift puts up similar numbers this season, I don't think the Bears will wait long to make Monangai the new feature back. Number 7, TreVeyon Henderson, New England Patriots. Henderson was a crucial part of Ohio State's national championship last year. He ran for 1,016 yards and 10 touchdowns in a rotational role for the Buckeyes and helped lead them through the playoffs. The Patriots scooped him up early in the 2nd round of the NFL draft and will be looking for him to push for the starting job. In the modern NFL, the 2nd round is a very high place to take a running back, meaning they have faith he can be a major playmaker in their offense. His main competition will be Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. Gibson rushed for just over 500 yards last year, mostly in the latter half of the season following struggles from Stevenson. Stevenson is still likely to be the lead back, at least for the start of 2025, but it seems like the Patriots have been waiting a long time for him to finally have a major breakout season, and I don't think they're going to wait much longer. I could see Henderson starting as early as week 1, so keep an eye on him to have a big rookie year in New England. Number 6, RJ Harvey, Denver Broncos. Harvey was another running back taken in the 2nd round, and there's good reason for it. He rushed for 1,577 yards at UCF in 2024, which was good for 6th in the country, and his 2nd straight season eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark. Additionally, Denver's offense finally caught its stride in 2024 behind Bo Nix, but the run game was its one clear weakness. As a matter of fact, it was the entire team's one glaring issue, as their defense was among the best in the NFL last season. Javonte Williams was their leading rusher, and he just barely surpassed 500 yards. They did bring in former Chargers 1,000-yard rusher J.K. Dobbins from free agency this year, so along with Jaleel McLaughlin, they will make for some tough competition for Harvey, but he most definitely could still win the job and be on his way to a breakout rookie season. Number 5, Caleb Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers. Johnson had a breakout season for Iowa in 2024, rushing for 1,537 yards, good for 7th in the country. He actually led the nation in rushing for a good chunk of the season last year, but a slight dip in his averages moved him down to that 7th spot by season's end. He finds himself in a great position in Pittsburgh though, with his only real competition being Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Neither of those guys have ever rushed for 1,000 yards in their career, so there's nothing to really say they hold a leg up on Johnson in the position battle. I think he will win the job in week 1 and be their feature guy for the 2025 season. Number 4. Quinshon Judkins or Dylan Sampson, Cleveland Browns. Similarly to the Cowboys situation, I ranked both of these guys in one spot because if one of them goes for 1,000 yards, the other likely won't. But with that said, these two have a great chance at that in 2025. They have next to no competition in the running back room, with Jerome Ford being the only guy who can likely give them some issues. These dudes were both 1,000-yard rushers in the 2 best conferences in college football last season, so I have no doubt that whoever wins the starting job will have no issues as a feature back in this offense. Number 3. Cam Skattebo, New York Giants. Skattebo was the number 2 running back on my draft board this season, and I think the Giants got an absolute steal by picking him in the 4th round. He finished 2nd in the country in rushing yards with 1,711 while also adding 21 touchdowns. There was one key reason for that. He's flat out untackleable. He has the best contact balance of this class, and it was especially on display in ASU's college football playoff game against Texas. He was a multi-tool for the Sun Devils last year as well, recording 605 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air in addition to his presence in the backfield. He'll be competing with both Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, who are good running backs. But with that said, I think Skattebo is going to put people on notice quickly, and even if he doesn't win the job week 1, I could still see him eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark. Number 2, Omarion Hampton, Los Angeles Chargers. Hampton was the 2nd running back selected in the 1st round this year, which is a rare feat, and it goes to show how strong this class is. The reason I have him ranked over Skattebo, though, is the team and system he was drafted into. In Jim Harbaugh's offense, he doesn't even need to win the starting job to rush for 1,000 yards with how much he likes to run the ball. Hampton does have some stout competition with Najee Harris, Hassan Haskins, Jarrett Patterson, Raheem Sanders, and Kamani Vidal all occupying the same running back room. But I think Hampton is a much better running back than all of them, with Najee being the one exception. I don't see him winning the RB1 role, but as a first-round running back, that's definitely the expectation LA has for him, at least in the long run. But as I said, I still think he's going to get plenty of work being a member of a Jim Harbaugh backfield, so the 1,000-yard mark is definitely within reach, even if he isn't getting the bulk of the snaps. Number 1. Ashton Jeanty, Las Vegas Raiders. Jeanty is obviously the most likely running back to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark in 2025. The People's Heisman of last year's college football season not only eclipsed the 2,000-yard mark, but he was actually pushing 3,000 by the end of the playoffs. This prompted the Raiders to select him 6th overall in the 2025 draft, making him the highest running back selected since Saquon Barkley in 2018. He also faces very little competition for the RB1 spot, with Raheem Mostert and Zamir White as the only 2 guys who really stand a chance. Jeanty was Boise State's entire offense last year as he carried them to a near-perfect record, Mountain West championship, and college football playoff berth. It's safe to say that if he can even replicate a portion of what he was doing in college, he's going to be among the best running backs in the NFL in no time. But what do you guys think? Are there any I missed? Are there any of these guys you don't think have a chance at rushing for 1,000 yards? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you're a football fan, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as I have a bunch more content coming out during the season. But other than that, take care.